Welcome back to our Weekender Duffle Series. Today we are continuing our Weekender Duffle Series with a bag that slightly rethinks how a duffel should open. Today we're looking at the Evergoods Transit Duffel 35 liter. Welcome back to the Dave Sam channel, where we review bags and general gear that I like. Before we get started with the review, I wanted to give a huge thank you to Evergoods for sending me the Transit Duffel to review. Now, if you've watched my channel before, you know I am a huge fan of Evergoods generally. I've reviewed multiple of their bags. I have a couple on the walls here. I've reviewed and have many of their pouches, most of which I paid for myself because they are such fantastic pieces of gear. Now, if you want to know more about the history of Evergoods, please check out one of those videos. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but they are based out of Bozeman, Montana. It's designed by two gentlemen who are legends in the bag world in their own right. The Evergoods line is always something that has innovation and design as its forward-thinking element, while maintaining that full everyday use and capability. Now, the Transit Duffel is, or at least this one is 35 liters. It also comes in a 25 liter bag, but for me, that's a little bit small given what I carry. I'm sure with the magic that Evergoods does, I could fit more into the bag than maybe I think. But functionally, this 35 liter is the sweet spot for all of your gear. There's one particular thing that stands out about the 35 liter over the 25 liter, which I'll get to in a little bit. Now, the 35 liter is kind of perfect for that 5 to 7 day time frame. I know I said weekender, but if you're somebody like me, you can pack quite a lot of gear into a bag that's 35 liters. Right now, I have this packed for, I want to say about 8 or 9 days, 2 pairs of shoes, extra gear, have a pillow in here, my toiletries, all that stuff. So we'll get into what's in the bag in a second, but at 35 liters, again, if you pack it right, you can pack quite a lot in here. Now, this is the army green color, which is a nice change up for me. They obviously have a black one as well, but as you all know, 90% of my bags probably are black. So every once in a while, it is good to change it up. This one is made out of 840D nylon or ballistic nylon with the YKK zippers, wherever zippers are used in the bag. This main one here is a beefy, looks like a number 8 or 10 zipper. And then on the sides, you've got these also pretty beefy, I think number 6 zippers here. So definitely well built, up to that Evergoods standard. You're definitely getting a bag that you can trust the materials and the quality of the belt. Now, empty, this is about 3 pounds or so, which is a great weight for a bag of this size. When you pack it out, it can obviously, depending on the density of what you pack it in, obviously depending on the density of what you pack in it, it can range in weight. I've definitely gotten this up to that 25-30 liter mark when I've taken longer and longer trips with it. Definitely feels a little bit heavy, but there is a pretty innovative solution here that we will jump into. So what I love about the bag, first and foremost, let's jump into the top here. You can see it has these really nice long handles here that you use for the grab handle. Really fantastic overall to touch and carry. First thing I absolutely love about this is this opening. It has this rigidity to it. So there's a metal bar in here, or a really solid plastic bar of some kind in here. So when you are using this bag, pop these clips off, and you've got this really nice wide opening so that you can get to all of your gear with absolutely no issues. This is like a play on a old school medical bag, if you will, right? Where it had that rigid frame across the top like this. And so when you open it up, you really have that absolute full visibility. It really makes packing this thing just incredibly easy, especially because the opening can just stay so wide open like this. So putting things in and out or getting things in and out is just incredibly easy. So this opening, this zipper to the main compartment, just absolutely fantastic implementation. Pretty unique for this style of duffel. Not something that you're going to see on a lot of them, but adds a ton of value and character, if you will, to this bag as well. Now, the last thing that this frame adds, and it's a bit, I don't know, silly, you wouldn't notice it, right? But again, this is so rigid, it's kind of a crush protector. So if you've got something a little more fragile sitting around the top here, you can at least understand or at least feel a little more confident that if you've got stuff lining around it, that these metal bars are sit on top of that stuff and hopefully not crush your more fragile items. Now, keeping it moving, if I zip up the main compartment and go over to the sides, I've got these compression clips here, these clip-ins. And on each one, if we can get it, right, it clips directly into a sewn in female clip, right? So this male just goes right in here into the female, and that sew in, and that clip is super nice for keeping this bag in a really sleek and nice form, right? So you can see one side is a little bit floppy if I don't clip it in. The other side has just this nice sleekness to it. It is completely rounded versus this little extra bit of flop. Now, if you are really crunched for space, you could of course try to use this extra bit of area here as some space in the bag, but please put in the comments if you figure out how to do that with something really effectively, or if there's a really good item to put in there. I hadn't found one. So for me, not using these, clipping them down is really nice and effective. However, when you do clip them down, one thing to be aware of is that you are taking away your ability to use the shoulder strap when you clip them down like this. You can really only use it in the grab handle mode. So for me, not a deal breaker, but for some, maybe. If you do want to use the shoulder strap, of course, you can just unclip these. Again, very innovative design from Evergoods. Comes with this shoulder strap, and the shoulder strap is nice because it is actually a slightly different material. If you can see here, it is this waxed canvas material, so not quite the ballistic nylon. Now, this detail might not matter to you if you are a little uninitiated, if you will, but when you are carrying a bag, especially a duffel on one shoulder, you often find yourself just leaning a little bit, right? This material, or this being waxed canvas, helps it stick to your shirt or your shoulder, or gives it that a little bit more traction and friction, if you will, on your shoulder versus this ballistic nylon. So again, just another really wonderful design element or thoughtfulness coming from Evergoods as they're thinking about how you carry your bag. Now the clips here, like I mentioned, right? It's just like another female that is at the end of each of them, and you can clip in, and now you can use the bag as a shoulder bag. So nice, easy to carry as a one-handed, kind of using the grab handles here. Or, as you can see, it shapes pretty nicely like your average duffel if you want to put it in duffel shoulder carry mode. And again, that wax canvas just super nice as it's kind of sticky here, or adds a little bit more of that friction, so that when you're carrying it, it doesn't so easily fall off your shoulder. All right, and lastly, for things that I love, the pocket layout on the Transit 35 is incredible. They have pockets across basically every dimension in the bag. So of course we went over the main compartment here. On the back of the bag, there is an additional open space here that easily fits a 13-inch iPad. I think this is like an M1 iPad, so it's fairly old. I don't know how big the new ones are, but this one is also pretty thick, right? Fits an iPad, can also fit up to a 16-inch MacBook Pro. I have a fairly new 16-inch MacBook Pro that fits in here like butter, to be honest. Completely packed out like this, no issues whatsoever. What a great pocket. Just behind that, if you're using this as a secondary bag, you've got a bit of a luggage pass-through here, which is also nice. And then on the front of the bag, you have another full length of the bag pocket here. This one is more for your quick carry, so got my key leash here, little toolkit, just a little travel toolkit, and my wallet. Of course, you could fit a little bit more in there, maybe like a phone, small pair of headphones. Nope. Any of those things that you would normally carry in a sling or in your pockets would be perfect for this front pocket. All right, then when you move to the inside of the bag, of course, around my clothing here, and like I mentioned, I've got about 10 days worth of clothing. Another slip pocket on this side, very nice and open. And then on the back of the bag, or reflecting back of the bag, there is another zippered pocket here. So mirroring the back of the bag, but much more shallow. So The things that you're gonna put in here, maybe more of that, again, quick access stuff. I haven't slipped anything in here like a Kindle or additional tech. I would assume I'm gonna be using this bag as my secondary, mostly clothing bag, and I would have a backpack of some kind that has most of my tech, my laptop, maybe something like my iPad, or if I'm bringing 2 laptops for whatever reason, I might carry one in here and one in my I might carry one in here and one in my backpack with all the rest of my tech, my camera, or certain other things that I would carry most of the time when traveling, especially for 7 days. All right, let's move on to the things that I am less keen on, and starts with actually these grab handles. I know how much I was just talking about, how much I love them and this innovative system here, but functionally, when you actually look at these grab handles, they are extremely thin. They just don't have the level of padding that I would want for a bag like this, where I have this optionality here to actually close off the shoulder strap area altogether, and I could mostly or even only use it with these grab handles. I would expect them to have a bit more comfort, a bit more padding, something that really meshes to the hand so that when I'm carrying it for an extended period of time, even if it's 20, 30 minutes, it doesn't start to feel like it's just like ripping through my hand. Now, does it feel like it's ripping through my hand? No, that's obviously a bit of hyperbole, but it does start to get a little bit kind of itchy in every hand after a few minutes where you've got to really switch back and forth. And it's not because of your shoulder, it's because, or your arm, right? It's because it's starting to dig in just a bit into those areas of your hands that you're carrying it with. Secondarily, and this is not a gripe with the bag or with Evergoods, I am just a fiend for X-Pac. I would love to see a little bit more optionality in terms of what material it comes with. Ballistic nylon's great. That 840D is fantastic. Ballistic nylon, super durable. Definitely has some good water resistance, but something like X-Pac or sailcloth would be fantastic here just to add to the collection of X-Pac bags. All right, so who is the 35-liter Transit Duffel for? I would say if you are an extremely organized traveler, this might be the one for you, right? It's got pockets literally everywhere, and those pockets each have their own function that really elevate the use of the bag, right? So if you don't want that black hole experience, if you like organization and the ability to really see everything in your bag from that top-down view, I would say look no further. Transit Duffel is fantastic to use. And alternatively, who is the Transit Duffel not for? I mentioned, if you were somebody who's going to be carrying this for extended periods of time, either with the shoulder strap or with these handles, you're not going to necessarily have the padding that's going to lead to a really comfortable extended carry. So if you need something that prioritizes that level of comfort for something that you're going to be carrying quite a lot, I'd probably start looking at some other duffels. There are a few that I've used, a couple again right behind me, that do have those super plushy, comfortable straps. The one I reviewed a couple weeks ago, also very comfortable, plushy shoulder strap at the very least, right? So some trade-offs that you'll have to make as you're thinking about which bag is actually going to meet your needs. All right, let me know what you think of the Evergoods Transit 35-liter duffel below in the comments. Let me know if there are other duffel bags that you want me to check out. I've got a couple more on my list that I am going to be making reviews about as I've got more upcoming trips over the summer. While you're down there leaving your comments, don't forget to like, subscribe, get notified of new videos from your boy. We will be coming out with them as often as possible, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.